Hey there, it's me, Sam Griffin. Should I have the glasses on or off? Let's keep them on today, guys. I'm an amazing guitar player, composer, arranger. I do all kinds of stuff. So good. Today I want to talk to you guys about why my nose itches, why better arranging equals better composing, all right? Ultimately, what is arranging? What's actually going on there? Well, I think it's sort of a transmutation of source. What the hell do I mean by transmutation of source? Okay, well, let's first break down what I mean by source. Source is essentially, it's the pool of information that you are extracting from to create your arrangement, right? And in this case, the source, when you're doing an arrangement, is always going to be, well, not always, it's usually going to be some kind of audio file. Maybe it's like a tune on YouTube, or it's an MP3 you found. Maybe you downloaded it off of the dark web, which is fine, dude. I don't judge. I don't judge people who surf at night. You know what I'm saying, dude? The source would be, usually for me, it's an MP3 file that I upload into Guitar Pro. That is the source material that I am then transmuting. Now, the transmutation process, that is what I would call the arranging process, right? And by the way, if you're looking to get super sick at guitar arranging and you want to learn my method, maybe you want to work with me personally, there's a link down below that you can give a click. There's a short explainer video over there if you're interested in getting sick at solo guitar arranging. Okay, let's talk more about weird stuff like sources and transmutations. All right, so the transmutation process of that particular source, which is like an MP3, would be the arranging process, whereby at the end of it you would have a sick playable arrangement. Essentially, it's a bunch of information that you've compiled, right? Information about rhythms, about pitches, about finger placement, and I always recommend doing this stuff in Guitar Pro. It's the best for doing arrangements for sure. But what if you were transmuting a different source? What if you were the one creating the source? That's what I mean when I say that arranging equals better composing, because that transmutation process of going from source to actually cool, playable guitar thing with rad details and cool inner notes, all that kind of stuff, can actually be done in the same way, right? But the difference between an arrangement and a composition is that with a composition, you are the one who's creating the source material, right? It's all from you. Versus with arranging, you're essentially taking somebody else's piece of music. Now, is it easier to arrange than compose because of the fact that you're not having to generate the source material? Well, no, and a lot of it has to do with how detailed and thorough that source material actually exists in its beginning state, essentially. In an arrangement, the transmutation process is more of a distillation. You're distilling the melodies and bass notes and the rhythms and the inner stuff. You're trying to distill all the different elements that you're hearing in that particular music. And you're trying to kind of manipulate it and package it in a way that can be played and presented on guitar where somebody listening would go, oh yeah, I know that song. Oh yeah, that's that song, right? Because you've transmuted it in such a way that it's effective, it's playable, and it's actually getting the song across, right? Now, on the other hand, at least with my experience with composition, it's almost the opposite. It's almost an expansion from the source. A lot of times what I recommend with composing is to start simple, okay? Because usually the main elements of a composition that are interesting are like the main melody. That's like the main thing, right? That's the thing that you hum from the songs you love. It's usually the main melody and then whatever's going on in the bass. So a lot of times when I compose, I will play bass notes on my guitar and I'll just sing stuff. Hey, editor, can you cut out what I just did? Can you cut that out? So I'll just try to think of a melody, right? So even that little idea. Can you please not put what I just did in the video? You know, I'll just do crap like this, and it sounds like crap. What I'm doing sounds like absolute trash. But the cool thing about it is that you can really quickly come up with a lot of, you know, legit source material. And if you do something like that, if you do that like 50 times, one of them is going to be the best one, right? And then from that one, you can take that, you can actually input something like that into Guitar Pro, and you can begin the transmutation process. And instead of doing it where you're distilling things, you're taking things out, maybe you're trying to add stuff, you're trying to make the bass more active or whatever. And that's where I think a lot of your arranging skills will really translate over to your compositional prowess. And so if you want to be a better composer, I think it behooves you to learn how to arrange. And again, if you want to learn how to arrange like your boy Sam Griff, there's a link down in the description. Go ahead and check that out if you want, okay? Now that's it. That's what I think. Those are my thoughts. My nose is incredibly itchy at this moment, so I'm going to end the video. Bye.